Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. Today we're getting a little more comfortable because we're talking about a topic that's pretty uncomfortable and quite sensitive still to me. But I wanted to feel like I was having a coffee with a friend and talking about a topic that needs some more light shed on it, because I find it quite taboo to a lot of women and not spoken about enough. For those of you who know me or are in our world or on my social media even, you would know that very recently we lost the pregnancy of our second baby. It was very early. We only found out we were pregnant, and about 4 days later we found out that we lost the baby. And for me, it was the most devastating news that I could have received. Finding out we were pregnant was the biggest shock. I mean, we were only trying to conceive for that first month, so it happened extremely quickly. And then we were pregnant on the first round. I did a pregnancy test as a joke because I thought running a little late, maybe we're pregnant, and it actually turned out to be positive. So in an hour, I went from total shock to so exciting I could shout it to the rooftops. About 4 days later, I went in for a blood test, and the day after that I went back in to get the results, and they were positive. And for those of you that know my husband, or probably many husbands are similar, he wanted hard proof, concrete evidence that we were pregnant before telling anyone or getting too excited, because he really wanted a second child, more than I did, which was weird. And so I went in for the results while he was actually at work, and got the results, and they were positive, and I was so excited. I texted him straight away with a million baby emojis and smiley faces and tears and all the above. And about an hour later, I just went to a routine stop to the bathroom, and that's when I saw that my body was miscarriaging. It was a really hard moment for me. I'm a woman of faith, so part of me was, oh, maybe it's just spotting. Maybe it's just a little bit of bleeding. It's normal, it happens to some women. And the other part of me was, oh no, my worst nightmare has happened. Later that afternoon, my body started cramping quite aggressively and bleeding quite strongly. I'm sorry if this is too much information, but bleeding quite strongly, and I knew that that wasn't normal for pregnancy. So immediately my emotions got the better of me, and I became a mess. I was crying uncontrollably. I didn't want to leave the couch. I didn't want to leave a pillow and a blanket that I snuggled on the couch. My husband came home from work. I had my son with him at that point, and he just knew that something was wrong. So I told him that we had lost the baby, and he was trying to be so supportive, saying maybe it isn't, maybe it's still there. But I just knew, you know, that gut instinct inside a woman that just knows, no, it's happened. And to be honest, I didn't know what to feel. I didn't know if I should feel sad. I didn't know if I was allowed to feel sad. I'd only known about this baby for less than a week. It was maybe only 5 weeks along. Was I allowed to mourn? Was I allowed to grieve? Was I allowed to feel sorry for myself? Compared to all the women out there that lose babies, that are stillborn, that lose pregnancies that they've seen an ultrasound. We didn't even get to see an ultrasound or hear a heartbeat. So I then started feeling, am I even allowed to have these emotions? And my mind and my heart didn't know what to feel. And then I thought about what it was like to have Zion. And I thought, hang on a second. I know that this baby is inside of me is a baby. It may be the size of a poppy seed, but it still has everything inside of that little poppy seed that it's going to need for the rest of its life. So yes, girl, you're allowed to mourn. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to tell people. You're allowed to get sympathy. You're allowed, because it is real. And a baby is still a baby, and a pregnancy loss is still a pregnancy loss, no matter how far along you are. And somebody out there needs to hear that. It may not be fair It may not be the same as anyone else. It might be less, but to you, it still is a pregnancy and you still are grieving through loss. So I actually filmed a video that day. I'm not going to share it with you because it pretty much was me crying the whole time. It was very raw emotion, but that's all that I could feel at that moment of time. But even looking back at that video, I remember saying, it's going to be okay, and I'm going to be okay. And it's been about a month, and I feel okay. I decided to share it publicly on Facebook that next week and to do a video, because I know that there are women out there that need to hear it, that need to hear that so many women go through this. And it shouldn't be a taboo subject. It shouldn't be something that we just dust under the rug or keep to ourselves, because it's so important to have a support system around you. Make sure that you have somebody that you can talk to. Make sure that you have somebody that you can approach or ask for help or ask for guidance or counsel. Maybe you have somebody that's been through it themselves. You won't know until you talk to somebody. The more we talk, ladies, the more people will have an understanding and the more people will be open about their own experiences. So I went to the doctors and explained to my doctor that I thought that I had a miscarriage, and I explained what happened with the bleeding and everything. So she sent me for a blood test. The blood test had to check my HCG, my pregnancy levels, to make sure that all of the pregnancy hormone and everything had left my system. So I received the blood test, and she called me with the results the next day, told me that the levels were at a 3. And she said, take another test in a week and we'll make sure that they are in the negatives. And I did, and they were in the negatives. She called me back with the results as well. She also told me that it was okay to start trying. So she said the reason why she used to tell people, or that doctors used to tell people to not try, so that you could get your dates right. So she said your body can keep trying for children. She said the next baby that you have, the next pregnancy, it is no more likely to miscarry because you've had a miscarriage. She said do not go into it with fear that you're going to lose the baby, because you are no more likely to lose the baby just because you had a miscarriage. My son's joining me now. She explained to me that 1 in 4 women experience a miscarriage, which is extremely high. So you are not alone, ladies. For those that have been through it, you are not alone. I don't know if it was easier to go through this one because I already have my son. I'm not sure if it would have been harder for me if it was my first baby and I had lost it. Having him though, it's been an incredible experience to just bring extra joy to me. Straight away he was trying to make me smile and make me giggle and make me laugh. But children bring so much joy. I just want to say as well to the women out there, for those that are wanting to conceive again, don't have fear in conceiving. I mean, you're probably going to have that check yourself every time you go to the bathroom, or any movement or any cramping, you're going to freak out because of what you've been through. But do not put that pressure on yourself. Just try and enjoy that pregnancy, because you deserve it and so does that baby. Yeah. It's normal to have a whole range of emotions. Anxiety, fear, stress, guilt. They're all normal emotions, but please do not put that pressure on yourself. It wasn't your fault. There might be underlying issues. You never know if there was something wrong with your body at the time, or if there was something wrong with the cells. You don't know, so do not put that guilt on yourself. You're doing the best you can, and it's so important as a mum. No matter what stage, as soon as that baby is in your stomach, you are a mother. And it's important for you to know that you can only do the best that you can. Just like right now, I'm doing the best that I can. And I had to get through some real emotions and take care of a toddler and be a housewife and go to work all at the same time. But now, a few weeks later, I feel that I am so much better. I feel I'm so much happier, and I feel I'm so much more confident in knowing that there is a future and there will be another baby, and we will keep trying. Thank you so much for listening to my story today. I know that it's a deep topic, but I also know that we need to talk about it, and it's so important. It's my love to you all, for those mamas that have been through it, for those mamas that are going through it. I'm thinking of you and I'm praying for strength over you in this time. Bye, loves.